Serious allegations against a Kanawha County commissioner tonight. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Barron. This is a story that we first broke earlier today on WOWKTV.com. 13 News Chief Political Reporter Mark Curtis joins us with more. Mark.
Amanda, we underscore that these are allegations against County Commission President Kent Carper, and his family says it may have something to do with a medical condition. But now he is under investigation, according to officials in both the county and city of Charleston. They spoke to us on the condition of anonymity because they say the investigation is still ongoing. These allegations are quite serious. Charleston police were dispatched to Daniel Boone Park on Monday afternoon. The officials said after a woman called 911 to report a man engaged in lewd activity. After an officer arrived at the park, he questioned Carper, though it's unclear if a citation was issued. 13 News has requested a copy of the police body cam video from that incident. But this morning, Kevin Baker, the city attorney, denied our request, but confirmed the matter was in fact being investigated, saying, quote, the information you are requesting is part of a pending investigation and therefore is exempt from disclosure under the Freedom of Information Act. Baker wrote in his response, which was emailed to us. 13 News has also requested a copy of the incident report and any citations that may have been issued. Now, just before noon today, Virginia Carper issued a statement on her dad's behalf. Quote, unfortunately, an allegation of inappropriate conduct has been made against my father while he was apparently parked in a vehicle at or near Daniel Boone Park on Monday. My father's illness and his apparent confusion have been misinterpreted as being something inappropriate. My family and I regret this awful misunderstanding. End quote. Officials said the investigation goes beyond allegations of lewd behavior, including an alleged attempt by Carper to hide the incident. Meanwhile, Carper, age 71, has been hospitalized since Tuesday evening and underwent quadruple bypass surgery yesterday morning, according to his brother-in-law and law partner, Edison Hill. Hill said, quote, Kent would never do anything to embarrass his family, the county, or his law partners. In the studio, I'm Mark Curtis for 13 News.
Mark, thanks. Kent Carper has a long tradition of public service going back many decades. He's been on the county commission since 1996. But before that, he served as the Charleston police chief, the public safety director, and even a paramedic. New information for you this evening on the investigation into Kanawha County Commission President Kent Carper. Tonight, we're learning more about that initial 911 call. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Barron. 13 News Chief Political Reporter Mark Curtis joins us in the studio with more. Mark.
Amanda, we are getting a clearer picture of exactly what happened 1 week ago today at Daniel Boone Park in Charleston, according to witnesses. According to our sources who spoke to us on the condition of anonymity, Carper was driving a silver van last Monday. I'm told the van belongs to the Charleston law firm where Carper is a partner. Yesterday, we saw two vans parked outside the law firm, including one that was silver. Now, according to our source, a woman reported that Carper drove his silver van into Daniel Boone Park. He then allegedly parked his vehicle next to the woman's car. At this point, according to the woman, Carper opened his door and indecently exposed himself to her. That's when she called police. But Commissioner Carper's family issued a statement last Friday blaming the incident on a medical condition, saying, quote, my father's illness and his apparent confusion have been misinterpreted as being something inappropriate. My family and I regret this awful misunderstanding. Carper, who is 71, remains hospitalized after having heart bypass surgery last Thursday. He has been on the Kanawha County Commission since 1996. We have requested numerous records from police reports to any citations to the officer's body cam footage and the 911 recordings. So far, our requests under the state's Freedom of Information Act have been denied. To the best of our knowledge, though, the Charleston Police Department has not cited Carper for anything. In the studio, Mark Curtis, 13 News.
Mark, thanks. This all began a week ago today when a woman called 911 to report lewd behavior. The following day, Carper was admitted to the hospital with some health issues. He did receive a quadruple bypass open heart surgery on Thursday. On Friday, WOWKTV.com, we broke the story, prompting a statement from Carper's daughter calling it an awful misunderstanding. This is a developing story, so stick with 13 News for the very latest updates. An investigation into a county commissioner is raising questions about Who takes the lead in certain investigations, generally speaking, to ensure that they remain unbiased? One state senator and attorney general candidate thinks what's happening right now in Kanawha County is a perfect example of why a law in West Virginia needs to be changed. 13 News chief political reporter Mark Curtis joins us now. Mark, right now the state's attorney general does not have the authority to do criminal investigations.
That is correct, Amanda. Some believe cases that involve political figures or police agencies that do investigations themselves, such as the investigation into Commission President Kent Carper, deserve a more independent investigation. Kent Carper remains hospitalized after having heart bypass surgery last Thursday. That was just 3 days after a woman called 911 from Daniel Boone Park saying that Commissioner Carper had indecently exposed himself to her. Charleston police are investigating, but Metro 911 is involved and potentially the sheriff's department and the county prosecutor. Well, the county commission has authority over those last three. Now, State Senator Mike Stewart says it's time to give the state attorney general's office the independent power to conduct criminal investigations.
And I know he's recovering, so I certainly wish him a speedy recovery. But you want an independent person. You want an independent body to be able to look at all these allegations. And ultimately, the people want the truth. They don't want it to be doctored because of influences. They don't want there to be any sort of political influence.
Stewart notes that when he was U.S. attorney, he was able to conduct a criminal prosecution of 2 state Supreme Court justices because the state attorney general lacked that authority. Meanwhile, the Carper's family has issued a statement last Friday saying the commissioner, quote, his illness and his apparent confusion have been misinterpreted as something inappropriate. My family and I regret this awful misunderstanding. Now, we should point out that State Senator Mike Stewart is a candidate for Attorney General. His primary opponent is Senator Ryan Weld from the Northern Panhandle, and Senator Weld is opposed to giving the AG criminal investigation authority. In the studio, I'm Mark Curtis, 13 News.
Mark, of course, all of this is a developing story, and we'll continue to keep you updated on the air and online.
This was a 6-week legal battle, and we still don't have the actual audio tapes we requested, but we do have the transcripts of the call. The initial call came in about Kent Carper, came into 911 on Monday, May 15th at 2:17 p.m. The Metro 911 dispatcher said, 911, where is your emergency? The caller said, quote, honey, I'm here at Daniel Boone Park, here in up here in town, up here. And the dispatcher interrupted and says, Daniel Boone Park in Charleston? The caller then says, yes. I was sitting here waiting on somebody to come and give me my stuff. I'm buying off of her. And there's a guy that pulled up beside me here at Daniel Boone, and he unzipped his pants and he's got his thing out, shaking it. She's referring to the man's genitals. Somehow the call got disconnected, and at 2:23 the complainant calls back. The dispatcher again says, 911, where's your emergency? The caller says, quote, oh my God, ma'am, I just called you about that guy that had his pants down. The dispatcher responded, quote, I didn't speak to you, ma'am, where are you at? The caller said, I'm here at Daniel Boone, and oh my God, the guy got out of the damn van there and come up here. Honey, he's on the damn TV. The dispatcher interrupts again. I don't know what you mean. Who is he? The caller says, I don't. Oh my God, I think his name is, he's well known. Well, by then, a police officer arrived, and the man in question was identified as County Commission President Kent Carper. He was not given a citation, and he was left free to go by Charleston police, but the investigation was continued. Well, the next day, Carper was hospitalized with a stroke and heart attack, and 2 days later, he underwent open heart surgery. Carper's family, days later, released a statement that said his confusion and medical issues on Monday in Daniel Boone Park were misinterpreted as something inappropriate, but were not, and that the whole incident was a, quote, awful misunderstanding. The matter is now being investigated by the West Virginia State Police, and it's under the jurisdiction of Special Prosecutor David Wandling of Logan County. Commissioner Carper has, through his lawyer, declined our request for interviews. Again, as of now, Commissioner Kent Carper has not been charged with any crime. In the studio, I'm Mark Curtis, 13 News. Well, we can report to you tonight that Kent Carper is indeed back in the saddle as the president of the Kanawha County Commission. This was the first county commission meeting that Commissioner Carper has attended since his legal and medical problems began. Carper has been in the headlines almost daily since May 15th. That's when a woman called 911 from Daniel Boone Park in Charleston, saying that an older man, later identified as Kent Carper, had indecently exposed himself to her. He was not cited by Charleston police, though the case has been turned over to a special prosecutor and the West Virginia State Police. Carper's family cited his medical problems and that the park event was a, quote, awful misunderstanding. When I spoke to Commissioner Carper tonight, he could talk a lot about his improving health, but he couldn't say much about the legal action because the investigation is still ongoing.
Like I said before, this matter has been referred to Jesse. You have his number. All you got to do is call him. Okay?
We've called him and he said no comment, and he said you're not going to comment either. Can you talk about your health and how you're feeling?
Well, if I start on one, I'll start on the other, but it's certainly no secret that I had quadruple bypass surgery. I've had several strokes. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm now in cardio rehab, and I go 3 days a week.
We're glad to see him back. You know, that experience that he has, whether it's a flood or whether it's landslides, I mean, he's been through it all. And you need somebody with his experience on the commission. I'm glad he's back.
I did ask Commissioner Carper if he was going to address the matter before the county commission to the full audience here and the public out watching, and he said again he could not address it because it is a pending legal investigation, and during the meeting he made no word of it. Reporting at the Kanawha County Commission in Charleston, I'm Mort Curtis, 13 News. As always, we should point out from the start that while Kent Carper is under state investigation and now federal investigation, he is yet to be charged with any crime. This all began on May 15th of 2023 around 2:20 p.m. A woman calling Charleston police to say an older man in a silver van was indecently exposing himself to her at Daniel Boone Park. When police officer Hart Childress arrived, he spoke with the woman and also the man, who was then identified as Commissioner Kent Carper. Carper was not cited pending further investigation and was allowed to leave. Then a special prosecutor was appointed and asked the state police to take over. Now the state police confirmed the U.S. attorney is also taking a look.
I signed a seasoned trooper from the state police side. The special prosecutor had also reached out to, I later found out, reached out to the U.S. Attorney's Office as well. So that investigation is being run by 2 state troopers through state court and also with the federal nexus as well.
Former prosecutors we have spoken with say when Carper emailed a county employee and offered her a new job, that could be considered a bribery attempt or potential obstruction of justice. The female employee in question is dating the Charleston police officer who first investigated Carper's case. And because the offer was made via the internet, it could be eligible for consideration of federal prosecution. Now, late today, Carper's attorney issued a statement saying, quote, Kanawha County Commissioner Kent Carper continues to recover from serious health issues, including a stroke, heart attack, and open heart surgery involving a quadruple bypass. We remain confident that the truth regarding the health issues suffered by Commissioner Carper and the media reports regarding May 15, 2023 will be demonstrated following the work of Special Prosecutor David Wadling. Again, at this point, no charges filed against County Commissioner Kent Carper. In the newsroom, I'm Mort Curtis, 13 News.